Welcome back to block number 6. I'm Cindy Cloward, and today we are working on a block designed by Sandy Gervais. It is called Jack in the Box. This is mine made out of batiks, and here's what it looks like made out of solids, equally as beautiful. So to get started, you need to download the pattern on the Riley Blake Designs website. Again, it's called Jack in the Box. The pattern over here. I've already cut out all my pieces and we're ready to get started on this quilt block. Let me put on my glasses. So the first thing we're gonna do is a lot of those half square triangles again. It tells you to grab your B and your A squares, but you also need to make a lot of half square triangles with your C squares. So I'm just gonna do it all at once. Now I have a Seam So Easy guide, so I don't need to mark corner to corner, but if you don't, you're gonna need to have a Seam So Easy guide for your machine. You're gonna need to mark all of these light squares corner to corner, and that is going to be your sew guide. You're gonna sew a 1/4 inch on each side to make 2 half square triangles. So putting right sides together, we're gonna do all of these B squares, and there should be 4 of them. And then since we were just gonna move along and make our other half square triangles, we're gonna need our C squares along with our A. So there should be 4 of these squares as well, and the remaining 4 A squares. Now the colors on this are, on the batiks, are slightly more pink on the C squares, and they're slightly more peachy on the B squares. So just pay attention to what is what. And on there's more of a contrast on the solids, so it's easier to see. Less of a contrast with batiks. So let's take it to the machine, and we're going to sew all of our half square triangles at once, chain piecing. Okay, let's bring all of these over here. We're going to clip our connecting threads, and then we're going to cut down the center of these, and then we'll take them to our pressing station and press all of our half square triangles opened. So if you have a drawn line, that now is your cutting line. If not, you're just going to cut down the center of all of your sewn blocks. Okay, let's take it to our pressing station. Oh, and I just kind of give nice press with them closed. Soften those seams a little bit. And I'm going to separate my 2 colors out. Now that we've separated our colors, we've got all those pressed, we are going to square them up. They need to be 2.5 inches. So you need rotary mat, get out your little square up template, and let's just start squaring them all up. Again, I like to line up that center, pull it into the corner, and go around 2 sides, and then on the 3rd side, just take off that dog ear. All right, last one. over here. Clean that off, move that over there. Okay, we can start laying out our quilt block. Now, it's going to be really important for you to see how this, look at your pattern, see where the one color works with the other, because there's definitely a pattern. And you need to make 4 of these units. So see the units right here? 4 of them. So like I said, for the batiks, it's a little more subtle. It's a little easier to tell if you're working with our confetti cottons. These 2 squares, which are slightly more peachy, kind of make flying geese, and then look at the pink, more pinky, makes this kind of section like here. So we can lay those out, and luckily they're all going the same direction. So you can sew them all the same way. So make sure they're turned the right way. Might as well lay out. It's kind of like sashing in between, right? Almost. Because we're doing our 4 units. So that one's done over here. And then you've got this nice teal green right in the center. So I just work one section at a time because it's really confusing for me if I don't. So I'm just going to do 1 unit at a time. But I'm going to lay them out so I know the way they should go. Let's see, that one goes that way. That one goes that way. Again, they're the same pattern, but they're flipped different ways. So you could just lay them all out the same way, and then just make sure they're flipped the right way when you go to sew them. I mean, when you go sew all the quadrants together. So that's how that goes. Okay, so I'm just going to work one section at a time, and then when I bring it back, I'll make sure they're flipped the right way as they are on the pattern. So again, we're just making a little 4 patch right here. So we're going to flip it that way, pin it. Got our little bird pins today. Okay, let's go make our 4 patch. And again, if you want to make these all at once and chain paste them all together, that is perfectly fine to do. But it helps my brain sewing them 1 section at a time. Now that we got this cute little 4 patch, we just need to make 1 more seam. And we're going to flip our seams opposite so we can nest them, and I'm just going to finger press them. So we're going to flip those opposite. I'm going to put a pin in the middle. And my seams are going the same way here. There's a little bit of bulk, but it's easy to sew over. Okay, here's our little 4 patch. Let's give it a good press. Now that should measure 4.5 inches. And it looks like it's accurate, so I'm not going to trim it down at all. So I've got this quadrant, this section, this unit sewn. I'm going to sew these other 3 sections and I'll meet you back here. Okay, this is our last unit. I need to put it in this corner section. Again, just be careful of your rotation because they're all made the same way. They're just rotated different around this square. So I'm just going to take a look, and that is correct. You kind of see this flying geese, it's rotating around, and that is right. So now that those units are all finished, we can assemble our block. We're just going to flip over that center section to the outside. Again, I just throw a pin in it to remind me where I am starting my stitches. Let's take it to the machine and sew. Okay, let's bring it back. Now, the pattern tells you which way to press your seams at this point, and it's telling you to press your seams towards the center right here. I'm just going to do a finger press there, which means that will be pressed to the outside, so we can nest that. That's going to be on the inside. Okay, let's flip this outside towards the middle. Just like that. Let's pin it. Let's take it to the machine and sew. All right, let's open it up, take a look. What I do like to see is that these points right here and right here are not taken up into the seam, so they're just how they want. We just want to look. We have 2 more seams. Again, we already finger pressed these in the direction we want them to go. So let's just throw a pin. Nest those seams with our cute little bird pins, nesting them for us. And pin the outside if you'd like. Okay. Just 2 more seams to nest. And we are ready to go and sew. Okay, let's take a look. Looking good. A little mist of water. Let's take a look. Now it's time to square up our block. Let's take a look and see. Okay, can just line everything up. It looks like I need to trim very slightly. If you're cutting your fabric out accurately and you have an accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance, you really shouldn't be trimming too much. And again, you have to be so careful on the sides that you don't trim into this 1/4 inch and cut off those points. But I think it's finished. And the Jack in the Box quilt block is all finished. This is a really interesting and fun block by Sandy Gervais. It'll be fun to see Sandy's own fabrics in her own block. So thanks for sewing along with us and join us for block number 6. Next is block number 7. It's called Honey Blossom and it's designed by Lori Holt. See you next time.